Apple has announced that they will remove the YouTube app in iOS 6. And that is exactly how I have been talking about before in videos and in Google Plus posts. Apple seems to remove everything Google at the moment in their operating systems, both in Mountain Lion and in iOS. We had Google Maps removed earlier, replaced by Apple's own maps, and now also YouTube. But I don't think that's bad actually, because the YouTube app in the default YouTube app is really bad. It sucks really. Had never been updated since my first iPhone. And it's really old and very hard to reply to comments on YouTube videos and so on. Really bad app. So I think that's a great move by Apple, removing the YouTube app. And Apple also announced that Google are working on a new app that we will be able to install from the App Store. So it's no big deal actually. It's only for the better. Remove a default app that you can't even uninstall with a new app available from the App Store. So everything will be just better. And personally, I have used the YouTube web app for many years now, so instead of the default YouTube app, so no big deal for me. The web app is so much better than the default YouTube app. Much better. And Apple also announced that, of course, YouTube will continue work in Safari web app. So no difference there. So the only reason why Apple removing YouTube from iOS 6 is that the license to add YouTube app to iOS has ended. So they don't have to add the YouTube app anymore. And then Apple decided that the app is so bad, so why add it to default on iOS? No reason at all. So it's better to remove it. It's old and really bad, and will be replaced by a new YouTube app by Google from the App Store, or you could continue using the web app in Safari. So no big changes actually. Of course, some users doesn't know how to use the web app and maybe not even install apps from the App Store. They will miss the YouTube app. But then it's a good time to learn how to do these things, because that's much about what iOS is about. Apps. You need to install good apps to do cool stuff, create stuff, enjoy stuff, consume stuff. So apps is what iOS is about. So if you don't know how to install an app from the App Store or use the web app, then it's time for you to start learning. That's the fact. So I don't think removing the YouTube app is a bad thing. I'm sure of a lot of Apple haters, Android fanboys and so on says that it's because Apple and Google is at war and Apple hates Google and so on. That's why they remove it. No other reason. But I'm sure that's not the truth. Yes, they are at war because Google and Apple are competitors, but the reason why they removed the YouTube app is that the license has ended and they don't have to add that as a default app that you can't uninstall. The only apps that will be default apps that you can't uninstall will be Apple's own apps. And that's a great thing too, because for example Safari, you have to have Safari installed. You have to have Mail app installed because the operating system is dependent on them. So if you uninstall these apps by accident, then you crash your device. This morning I talked about Apple removing the YouTube app in iOS 6. That means it's the beginning of this car vlog this morning. And I posted a post on my Google Plus blog about that yesterday. And of course it got a quite lively discussion from some Android fanboys and Apple haters and so on, as usual. They don't like what Apple are doing and so on, and killing Google from iOS devices, and they don't like their attitude and so on. But as I said this morning in the beginning of this car vlog, it has nothing to do with it. The license has ended and the YouTube app is a terrible app. It sucks. It hasn't been updated since 2007, so who cares if Apple removes it? I haven't been using it for over 2 years. I have used the web app instead because it's so much better. So Apple are doing the right thing here. We don't need a really bad YouTube app, really old app. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. And as I said, Google are working on a new native app. It will be available in the App Store, so who cares? And everything just gets better because now when we click on a YouTube link in an email, for example, it will open in Safari and work in the web app instead of the link opening in the really bad native app from 2007. Everything just gets better. So it's a quite boring discussion to see that this is something Apple are doing because they are at war with Google and hate Google and so on. I think this is a great thing they do. The YouTube app sucks. That's it. You will find a link below this video in the description text to the Google Plus blog if you want to read the post there that I did about it. And you could join the discussion if you want. But I see a lot of hate there, so I can't recommend it really. But you can read it at least.